Alexa, the London Baby Coach, a newborn, young baby and infant expert, specialising in routine and sleep. In this demonstration, I'm going to talk to you about how you can bath your baby for the first time, but then incorporate it into your routine. One of the first questions parents always want to know is, when can I bath my baby? Now, when your baby is born, it has a natural coating called the vernix. This acts as a natural defence and a moisturiser for your baby's skin, so it's often advised that the first 48 hours you don't wash your baby. Then after this, between day 3 and 7, you can get bathing. In the meantime, it's always good to top and tail your baby or give them a sponge bath. One of the other things parents often wonder is about the umbilical cord. On average, this falls off around day 10, and some people don't like to bath their babies until this has fallen off, which is totally fine because you can carry on topping and tailing. However, if you do want to bath your baby beforehand, this is perfectly fine to do so, especially because the first few weeks of your baby's life you're just going to use warm water and nothing else. No bubble bath, no soaps, just because your baby's skin is still adjusting and you want to keep things nice and simple. Bathing your baby for the first time can feel like a daunting task, especially when they still feel so small and fragile. But it doesn't need to be, especially if you prepare yourself first. Now, in my setup today, I'm doing this on the worktop because especially post-birth, it's nice to give yourself that time to recover before doing it on the floor or over your bathtub. So I have here my baby bath, some things to clean my baby with. First off, a natural sponge. You can get these in most shops, and this is a really good thing to use when you clean your baby's body and followed by their bottom. Then another thing is some flannels or wipes, perhaps out of bamboo, that's really good to clean your baby's face. Then obviously last is the Cuddledry. Now I'm going to show you how to pop the Cuddledry on before we begin bathing our little baby. And what you just want to do is take this part of the Cuddledry, which I'm going to call the hook, and wrap it round your neck. Then just on the inside you have some clips which you attach like so. Now the idea of the Cuddledry is to be able to do hands-free bathing for your baby. When you take your baby out of the bath, one of the key things is to be able to support their head. And if you're then trying to hold a towel at the same time, this just isn't going to happen. So make sure you have it ready before you begin. Now that you're ready for your baby, what you want to do is make sure you check the temperature of the bath water. The ideal temperature for bathing your baby is 37 degrees, and there are two ways to check this. One is the simple elbow check, and two is to have a bath thermometer. Now that we're ready, I will show you how to pop your baby into the bath. Here's my little one here, and what you want to do is taking one hand, you want to support the baby's bottom, and then with the other you're going to place your baby over your forearm so that it's supporting both the head and the shoulders, and then the hand will be underneath the armpit like so. Then you slowly lower your baby in, and then once you feel confident that the forearm is in the bath, you can take your bottom hand out. This then frees it up for you to be able to do some washing. What you want to do is start by cleaning your baby's face. So take your flannel and dip it in the water. Just nice and gently. Make sure you clean behind the ears and in the creases. When you do your bath time, you want to keep it nice and short. This is because with the regulation of body temperature, you don't want your baby to get too cold. Next, take your sponge and just slowly dab and wipe across their body. Again, just getting in the creases, in the armpits, and finishing with their bottom. Something you can do as well at the end, which I think is quite nice, is if you take your sponge, is just squeeze some water over your baby to allow them to get used to the feeling of the water other than just the sponges. One of the things I get asked a lot is about using the bath time during the routine. Now, once you've done your first bath, what you want to do is increase this to 2 to 3 times a week in those first few weeks. Then increase to every other day. And then around 6 to 8 weeks when you start your bedtime routine, this is when you can go to daily. However, some people like to stick it every other day, so see what feels right for you. Now, the reason I recommend a bath time bedtime routine at 6 to 8 weeks is because your baby goes through a sleep maturity. And at this point, it's really nice to start incorporating those positive sleep habits and get your baby settled and ready for bed. Some of the other benefits to bathing your baby is that it's a really nice bonding experience. But also, if you find that you have a baby that has colic or perhaps struggles with wind, it could be a really nice way to calm and relieve some of these things. Now that we have completed bath time, I'm going to show you how to take your baby out. So what you want to do is basically go in reverse from how we popped your baby in. So you want to take your hand and pop it underneath your baby's bottom, and then you're going to take your forearm away from the head and shoulders so that your hand is now supporting it. Then you want to simply bring your baby up to your chest and holding them like so. Then you can then bring this arm round so that it's supporting both the head and the body. Then with your free hand, you can bring the Cuddledry up and get your baby nice and snug. Again, I'm just going to swap these hands round so this one's supporting and this one is holding the towel. So here we go, we've got our baby nice and snug in our towel. Then one of the other great things about the Cuddledry is what you can do whilst you're holding your baby is just unclip and then wrap them up so they're nice and snuggled like so. Now that your baby is nice and clean, you can take them over to the changing station to get them dressed. I really do hope this video has been helpful for you, and now you're all ready to start on your bathing journey. Thank you so much for listening, and you can find my website at www.thelondonbabycoach.com.